Welcome back, everybody, to the deep dive. Today, we are diving deep into AI assistance, and specifically, we're focusing on ChatGPT. We've got a whole bunch of articles and research, and even a guidebook all about making ChatGPT work for you, making it your own personal AI assistant, which I am very excited about.
Yeah, I think what's really fascinating about this topic is that AI assistants are, you know, they're not science fiction anymore. They're not just a thing of the future. They're actually real tools
Mm-hmm.
that are being used
Right.
by a ton of people right now. In fact, some of our sources say over 60% of professionals
Wow.
are already using tools like ChatGPT
That many.
to do their jobs better, to be more productive.
Yeah. I tried to use a chatbot once to, I was trying to order pizza,
Okay.
and it ended up adding socks to my cart instead. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure I totally trust this technology yet.
Right. Well, and I think that's why it's important to start by making sure we all even understand what these AI assistants even are. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, let's get down to the basics. Like, what is an AI assistant?
Sure. At their core, these AI assistants are software programs, right?
Mm.
But they use artificial intelligence, and specifically what's called conversational AI,
Okay.
to interact with us humans in a way that feels pretty natural. And really, the goal is to make them feel helpful. I mean, they've come a long way from those really clunky chatbots you're talking about.
Okay, so this is like, I'm trying to think of like a real world example of something that maybe I already use. Is it kind of like when Netflix recommends shows based on, stuff I've already watched?
You're exactly right. That is a form of artificial intelligence.
Okay.
It's just that these AI assistants we're talking about, they can actually do things for you. They're not just making suggestions.
Gotcha.
They're taking actions based on your requests.
Yeah.
And all this is happening because of some really powerful tech
Okay.
behind the scenes.
Hmm.
Stuff like natural language processing or NLP, which lets them understand human language, and then machine learning, which is how they learn and improve.
So the more I talk to it, the better it's going to understand me.
Exactly. It's all about the data.
Hmm.
The more data it has about you, your preferences, the more personalized those responses can become. And that's where those adaptive response systems really kick in.
Okay, now this is sounding a little more like the sci-fi AI stuff that I was imagining. So
Yeah.
so what can ChatGPT actually do for me in real life?
Well, I mean, think about your daily life.
Hmm.
What are the things you do every day?
I manage a schedule, I write tons of emails.
Exactly. I mean, managing your schedule, drafting emails, even translating languages. Some sources even talk about ChatGPT being able to provide health and wellness advice, like really practical stuff.
Oh, wow. So it can actually help me with all those things?
It can, and it's getting better all the time.
So this is like I can just picture myself relaxing on a beach somewhere while my AI assistant handles all my emails. Is that too good to be true?
It's getting closer to that reality every day, believe it or not. And there are studies that actually back this up.
Hmm.
There was one source that found customized chats can actually increase user satisfaction by over 50%.
50%.
Yeah,
Okay, so this isn't just hype. People are actually seeing real benefits from using these tools.
absolutely. And I think the really exciting part is it's not just limited to personal use. You think about businesses. Think about the potential there. Improved communication, better content, streamlined project management. The potential is huge.
And you said 60% of professionals are already using this?
That's what the sources are saying, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm starting to see how this could be a game changer.
And this is where things get really interesting because it's not just about using ChatGPT. It's about understanding how to really make it your own.
Oh, okay. So we're going to level up our AI game here.
Exactly. It's all about personalization.
Yeah.
Fine-tuning it to work the way you want it to work. And our sources had a lot to say about this whole art of ChatGPT personalization.
Yeah.
For example, you can actually change how it communicates with you, like its style.
Oh, really? So I can tell it to be more formal or more casual? Like if I want it to write a business email versus a text message to my friend.
You got it. You can even adjust things like its tone
Mm.
or how it formats things. Do you want bullet points? Do you want paragraphs? Maybe like tables? ChatGPT can adapt to all of that.
Okay. That's pretty impressive. So it's not just about, getting information or completing tasks. It's about how the AI actually interacts with me.
Exactly. And one of our sources even mentioned that by using templates for your responses, you can save a ton of time, like
Huh.
up to 25%. Think about that efficiency boost.
25%, yeah, I'll take that. Okay, but you mentioned training ChatGPT for specific tasks. What does that actually look like? How do we actually do that?
Well, imagine having a version of ChatGPT that's been trained to handle all your customer service inquiries.
Oh,
Or maybe it's an expert at writing marketing copy.
okay.
You can get really specific with this.
So it's like having a whole team of like specialized AI assistants. Each one's an expert in something different.
You got it. And the best part is, you don't have to be a coding genius to do this.
Yeah.
Our sources talk about conversational agents that actually learn from real conversations. So basically, you're just feeding your AI examples. Like maybe it's a bunch of customer service chats or some marketing materials, and it learns from that data.
That makes way more sense than me trying to write code. But hold on, didn't we talk about AI hallucinations before? Could that be a problem if I'm training it myself?
You are absolutely right to be thinking about that. And that's why it's really important to be super clear with your instructions and use specific keywords. You're kind of guiding the AI's responses. And you definitely want to, keep an eye on it, especially in the beginning, and correct any mistakes that you see.
So it's like teaching a kid. You got to be patient. Correct them when they make mistakes.
It is. That's a great analogy. And the rewards are pretty huge when you have a well-trained AI. Think about all the time you'll free up. You can focus on being creative or doing more strategic work.
Or maybe just finally taking that vacation.
Exactly. But let's take things even a step further. Some of our sources get into some really advanced optimization techniques.
Ooh, okay. I'm ready. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. What are we talking about here?
Well, one that I found really interesting is called prompt engineering.
Prompt engineering.
Yeah. So it's basically this idea of like crafting incredibly specific prompts
Oh, okay.
to get the AI to give you exactly what you want.
So it's not just about asking the AI a question, it's about asking it in the right way.
Exactly. And one source gave this great example. They said, imagine asking ChatGPT to write a blog post about AI assistants, but you also tell it you want it to be funny and engaging, like it's a conversation between two friends.
Okay, yeah. That's a lot more helpful than just saying, write a blog post about AI.
Right. And once you master this technique, you can really start to fine-tune that output.
Yeah,
It's like you're the director, right? You're guiding the AI.
I like that. Okay, so what other techniques should we know about?
Well, context management is another big one. And that's all about giving the AI all the information it needs so it can really understand what you're asking and give you relevant responses.
So it's like giving the AI a cheat sheet before a test.
It is. So
Yeah.
for instance, let's say you're asking it to write an email.
Yeah.
You'd want to tell it who it's for, what the purpose is, any past interactions you've had with that person, all that stuff.
Right. The more info it has, the better it can do its job.
Exactly. And by using these, advanced techniques, you can really go from ChatGPT being like this general tool to it being a truly personalized assistant.
Okay, so we're talking about going from amateur hour to AI mastery. But with all this power, we have to be careful, right?
You are absolutely right. There are, ethical considerations. We need to be thinking about potential biases, making sure things are fair, that we're using AI for good, not for harm.
Right. It's easy to get caught up in all the cool tech and forget about the bigger picture.
And as AI keeps evolving, we need to evolve with it. Right. Learn new skills. Be prepared for what's coming next. I mean, the future of AI is so exciting, but it's really up to us to shape it responsibly.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here, talking about the power of AI, how to personalize it. But I think it's time to get practical, right? Like, how do I actually use this in my everyday life? I don't want this to be another one of those apps that I download and then I just never use it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where integration comes in. It's about like
Yeah.
weaving ChatGPT into your digital life,
Mm-hmm.
connecting it with all those other tools and platforms you already use every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Our sources talk a lot about how ChatGPT can actually work with other tools pretty seamlessly to create this like powerful ecosystem.
So instead of just being like another app on my phone, it's more like it becomes part of everything I do online.
Exactly. And one of the most popular platforms that people are using for this is called Zapier.
Zapier. Okay.
And it basically acts as a bridge, right?
Mhm.
It connects ChatGPT to I think it's thousands of other apps.
Yeah.
And you can automate all sorts of things, whole workflows.
Okay, so can you give me an example? Like, paint a picture for me here.
Sure. Imagine this, right?
Yeah.
You get an email from a potential client. ChatGPT automatically analyzes that email, pulls out the important information, maybe adds them as a new contact in your CRM, schedules a follow-up meeting for you,
Wow.
and then, drafts a personalized reply, all from that one email.
That is some serious time-saving magic right there.
Right.
Okay, but it's not just Zapier though, right?
No, not at all. You can integrate ChatGPT directly into a lot of the tools you probably are already using, things like Gmail or Google Drive or Microsoft Outlook.
So it's like having an AI assistant working behind the scenes in all my favorite apps.
Exactly.
That's pretty wild.
It is. But even with all this really advanced tech, we can't forget that AI isn't perfect. I
Mm-mm.
mean, even with all this personalization, things can go wrong sometimes.
Yeah. Are we talking about AI hallucinations again?
Well, that's one potential issue.
Yeah.
But even in just normal everyday use, you can have misunderstandings, especially like with those longer conversations, where there's a lot of back and forth. The AI might lose track of what you're talking about, misinterpret what you're asking for.
Okay, so how do I prevent that? I don't want my AI going off the rails.
Yeah, and our sources have some really good advice on this. So first off, always try to be as clear as possible, like super specific in your instructions. Think keywords, phrases. You're helping the AI understand what you want. You can also break down big, complex tasks into smaller steps. So you're basically giving the AI really clear directions for each one.
So it's like giving it a to-do list instead of just saying, go take care of everything.
Yes. And remember, the more you use it, the better it gets.
Huh.
Every time you interact with it, you give it feedback, you correct errors, it's learning and getting better at understanding you.
Got it. Clear instructions, break things down, and basically just keep teaching it along the way. Any other tips for having a smooth experience with my AI?
Um, yeah, I think it's helpful to think about like communication protocols. Do you want your AI to be really proactive, like offer suggestions, or should it wait for you to give it instructions? Do
Mm.
you prefer, formal language or casual?
That's a really good point. It's like setting ground rules with a roommate.
Yeah, exactly. And just like any software, ChatGPT needs a little bit of upkeep.
Yeah.
Make sure you keep those preferences updated, retrain it when you need to, and always, always, always stay up to date on any new features.
Okay, so it's not totally set it and forget it.
Not quite, but the payoff is huge. With the right approach, AI can really help you achieve those goals. Be more productive. Even like unlock new creative possibilities. Don't be afraid to experiment. See what works for you.
This has been such a fascinating deep dive, going from like, what is AI, all the way to, really advanced stuff. I feel like I've learned a lot.
We've covered a lot, haven't we?
Yeah.
From personalization to security to
Mhm.
ethical considerations. Important stuff.
The big takeaway for me is, AI is here, it's powerful, and really anybody can use it.
And as we move into this new era of,
Mm.
AI being everywhere, it's really on us to use it wisely and to make sure it benefits all of us.
I love that. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Hopefully, you're leaving feeling inspired to explore all the amazing things AI can do. Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.